Hello, beautiful YouTubers. As you can see by my headwear, it's cold again here this week. 8 degrees Celsius today, but I wanted to get online and just share with you a thought that has been recurring for me recently and is something that I managed to somehow conquer at some point in the past. And that's the thought that you are not old. When I turned 13, I remember thinking, I'm a teenager now. I'm so old. My life is almost over. And then, of course, when I turned 18, I thought, I'm becoming an adult now. I'm just so old. Life is just wasting away. 20, no longer a teenager. Oh my goodness. Almost dead. 21, finally, confirmed as an adult. Old age has set in. I'm just moments away from death. And the same thing happened at 30. And then things started to change. And maybe this is a normal process, but I don't think so, because I talk to many of my friends who are in their 40s, in their 30s, and they say, I'm so old. And you are not old. I was 30 and my girlfriend at the time was not from England, and we wanted to be together, and the only way that we could be together was to get engaged, get a fiancé visa, and that fiancé visa had a requirement that you had to marry within 6 months. And we thought, 6 months, long time. Of course, you get engaged and 6 months disappears in what seems like 6 minutes, and you have this decision to make. There was no way that we were going to separate, so we went ahead with the marriage. And again, I thought, I'm 30, my life is over, might as well just get married. It was not something I wanted to do, but I wanted to be with my girlfriend, and I wanted to make sure that she was able to stay in the country, so we went ahead with the process. And unfortunately, 2 years into the marriage, her father was tragically killed in a car crash. She went back home to be with her family for a while, and unfortunately was consoled a little bit too closely by an ex-boyfriend, and we went our separate ways, let's say, after a year or so, and then I was fortunate in the coming years. But when I was 35, I started to date a wonderful lady, and I realized that I was still young and living life. I wasn't doing very well financially, and I had to overcome, and I'll create a video about this at some point, but I had to overcome some debt from the marriage and so on. But at the age of 39, I was just about to leave my job. I'd been made redundant. I had moved into a different position. I wasn't enjoying it, and I really just wasn't enjoying life at all. I was actually about to become a baker at my local supermarket, and I had even notified my parents to assuage their disappointment, saying that I was going to be leaving my job and becoming a baker. But in the weeks before I left, I decided to volunteer for the weekend and help my former colleagues with a move that they were going through, moving to a new office, building all kinds of new laptops and delivering new services, a new network and so on. And I happened to work that weekend with the head of IT for Western Europe, Middle East and Africa. And I was very fortunate in that he took a liking to my way of working. He took a liking to my attitude, and he offered me a position. And I ended up in a better position, with a better salary, with a lower cost of living, moving to Madrid, Spain. And I moved there just as I'd turned 40 years old. And my life truly began at the age of 40. I had the most wonderful time in Madrid. I lived there for 3 years and then got the opportunity to move to the US. Moved to the US, and today I am 51 years old. I'm still traveling all the time. I go to concerts all the time. I read, I write. I have a lot of fun. I walk, I jog. I just recently had my father visiting here. My father is 77 years old, and we walked all over Dallas. He took that trip, and he is still young, and I am still young, and you are still young. You are not old.